At the beginning of the film, at 4 o'clock in the morning, we saw a thief named Mike getting ready. He was a big thief, and this morning, he was going to commit a theft. And this theft of his was going to be very stylish and safe. Mike then took his luggage and left the house in his car in which Mike came, and checked the location of a man named Ali, whose car he had to track. Then, Mike left to go to him, in which Mike found Ali's car, and he moved ahead in his car. On the other side, in a diamond store, we saw the owner Hassan, and there he met two people named Azar and Mahmoud for the delivery of his diamonds, in which Azar told that he has brought his cousin Mahmoud with him for the first time today. Then Hassan showed him the diamonds and gave them in a bag, and then asked him to handle that bag. Then he took Azar inside. On the other hand, Ali was moving ahead with his car. Then, on the way, he saw a car parked near the bridge, and inside that car, Mike wore his mask and opened the trunk. Then Ali stepped forward, and Mike held him at gunpoint. He then confined Ali inside the trunk of the car and took his phone from the car, the password of which he knew. Then Mike left in his car. On the other hand, Hassan showed Azar the real diamonds, which were worth $3 million, and the diamonds outside in the bag were fake. Then he asked to place the diamond at his feet, and there Hassan received a message from Ali from outside, which had arrived. Hassan then told Azar that his bodyguard would follow them in his car until the delivery. Then those people agreed there. Then they moved ahead with Ali's car. But they did not know that Mike had come there in place of Ali. Then Azar and Mahmoud reached the parking lot with the car. Then Mike had also come there with him. And Mike held them there at gunpoint and showed them the video of Azar's house and said that my partner is outside your house and he can kill your family members. Also, the diamonds you have are insured, so neither you nor the shop owner will suffer any loss, and the insurance company will pay that money. So you guys quietly give me the diamonds. Then Mike came out there with Azar. Then Azar showed the diamonds in the bag. Then Mike wanted real diamonds, and he knew they were tied to his leg. Then Azar gave him the real diamonds. Then Mike got Ali out of the car, and he got into his car, and he was leaving. Then Mahmoud fired a shot near Mike, which entered near his mouth. Then Mike was saved there again and again. That's why Mike drove away from there at a high speed, and he was very scared. That's why Mike took the car to his parking lot away from the city. Then Mike completely covered the car, and Mike left from there in another car. On the other hand, we saw a very rich man named Steve at his house, with an insurance agent named Sharon, who worked in a big insurance company, and Steve was showing her his best paintings, which Sharon wanted to insure, and she was liking all the paintings very much. Then out of there, Steve and Sharon were talking about the painting. Then there was a very hot girl named Danny Daniels. Then Sharon says that all the things of your daughter can also be covered in insurance. Steve then says that Danny is his fiancée, and they are engaged to be married. Sharon then wanted to take out insurance for their wedding as well, and Danny started making fun of Steve and Sharon. Sharon left shortly after, feeling very upset about the confusion in his words. On the other side, we saw an officer named Mark, who had come to investigate Hassan's theft, and he knew that all these thefts took place on Highway 1001. There, Azar told that he already knew about the fake thief and the real hero. He also knew everything about my family and had a gun, but still he did not fire any bullets. Then Mark and his partner went there, in which Mark had found a pattern of that thief, and he always used to steal safes, and he never hurt anyone, and his rules were always very similar. Then Mark's partner told that his boss had asked him to change his partner, because due to Mark's honesty, he too could not move forward. But she refused to change her partner. Then Mark was happy for his partner. On the other hand, we saw Mike at his home, and he took out the stolen hero and put it inside a box. Then Mike saw that blood was coming out of his head, and that blood was also on the mask due to the bullet. At that time, he was very scared that the DNA sample might remain in the car. By then, Sharon came to his office, and there her colleague came and asked about Steve's deal. Then Sharon said that she has asked for quotations. Her friend was very happy, and when Sharon asked about her promotion, her friend told her that her boss, Chad, would talk to Sharon about it. Sharon was furious when she heard this. At night, Mike came and met his friend Nick, and Mike told him about the shooting during the robbery and how scared he was about the incident. Then Nick says that you have nothing to fear and you should prepare for the Santa Barbara heist. Then Mike refused to commit the theft right now because they had to commit it during the day, and there could be danger there. Then Nick was trying to convince him, but Mike was very scared. Then Nick asked Mike to enjoy with some girl, and then Mike gave him the stolen diamonds, which Nick had to sell and give Mike his share. At night, Mike called Lisa Ann, a prostitute, over, and Lisa knew everything about Mike, that he was very shy, and Lisa took off her clothes and started getting closer to Mike. In the morning, Mike was planning his next big heist, and he needed Sharon's help. On the other hand, Sharon was in a company meeting where her boss, Chad, welcomed a new hot girl named Maddie to the company. Then he told that Sharon has also cracked the insurance deal of expensive paintings of the house of a rich man named Steve. And this thing was a very big deal. Everyone was happy, and Chad gave Maddie the task of taking the deal forward, and he wanted Sharon to handle Hassan's insurance claim. Then Sharon had to accept this thing, even though she did not want to. On the other hand, Mark was interrogating Hassan. Then Hassan was furious there because the police were suspecting him, and Hassan told that he had given the task of handling the delivery to a man named Ali, and he had also seen the black car, which Ali also uses, and he had talked to Ali on mail. Then Mark understood that the thief must have already obtained all the information about the theft by hacking the email. By then, we saw Mike with his hacker Sam, who now wanted to know everything about Sharon. Then Mike gave money to Sam, and Sam agreed. On the other hand, Nick came and met a son named Barry, and Nick told Barry the entire details of the theft of Santa Barbara, in which Mike was initially going to commit the theft, but now he was very scared. That's why Nick wanted Barry to steal. Then Barry agreed. Mike was on his way home at nightfall. Then someone hit his car from behind. Then Mike came out and saw that this work was done by a very hot girl named Maya, and both of them became happy after seeing each other's beauty. Then Mike offered Maya money. Maya then explained that it was her boss's car, and she would need Mike's information for insurance. Then both of them exchanged their names and numbers. Both of them also told that they are both single. Then Maya left from there, and Mike was very happy to get her number. On the other hand, Sharon met Mark for insurance, and there, Sharon told Mark that he would have to take a polygraph test of Hassan to make an insurance claim. At that time, Mark felt that insurance companies make a lot of excuses to rob people, whereas they charge a good premium. Then Sharon told that the police cannot understand their things because everything in the world has a pattern, and most of the times, shopkeepers are involved in theft so that they can get the insurance money after the robbery, and this whole pattern helps them in completing any work. Then Mark was impressed by his words. Then Mark called his entire team, and he started telling about his pattern, which he had noticed, in which all the thefts took place on Highway 1001. And this thief used to steal diamond delivery safely. And this was his pattern, in which every theft took place at a place near Highway 1001. And he used to get the details of the theft in advance by hacking the email. By then, a man arrived in Sabra to deliver the diamonds. Then Barry attacked him from behind, bursting in with the bag the man was tied to. Then Barry started scaring everyone. Then he beat the man very badly. Then the man put the bag aside. Then Barry took the bag, and while leaving, he also saw the diamond necklace there. Then he was catching hold of women and beating them, and started making them pay with diamonds. Then Barry stole everything from there and ran away. On the other hand, everyone had seen Mark's complete details. Then his boss comes and says, "Mark, you are after only one thief, whereas other officers move ahead by solving any theft somehow. But you are still stuck at the same place because of your honesty. In this, instead of going after this thief, you will have to solve this case somehow. Then Mark says that our job is to catch this thief who can never be caught. Then the boss there asked Mark to end the case in everyone's interest to move ahead in life. Then Mark thought about it. Mike, on the other hand, met Maya for a date, and they both came to a very fantasy restaurant. Maya then reveals that she's not that rich and doesn't think she can meet Mike like that next time because they're so different. Then Mike told that he is also not that fancy, and this is his first time in this restaurant. And if Maya wants, they can go somewhere else also. By then, Mark's wife, Madison Highway, had also come to a restaurant with him. And there, Madison told Mark that she wanted a divorce from him. Then Mark became very sad due to this thing, and he left from there angrily. By then, Mike and Maya were eating on the street for a date. Then, Mike told about himself that he wants to earn a lot of money in life. Then, Maya was impressed by him, but she believed in living more than running after money. Then both of them separated from there and were going to meet again for a date. Then, Mike saw on the news that Sa Barbera's store had been burgled. Then, Mike was enraged after seeing this news because the thief had injured many people. And when Mark also saw the same theft, he was shocked because the entire pattern of theft was of the thief from Highway 1001. But this time, he had also beaten people, and that is why Mark felt that this must be some other thief because that thief never beat anyone. On the other hand, Mike came and met Nick and asked for his share of the stolen money. Then Nick says that you were not supposed to commit that theft. That's why I got that theft done. Mike then says you broke my trust, and he breaks off his friendship with Nick and leaves. Next day, Nick came and met Barry and told her that Mike is planning a big theft, so you have to follow him to find out about Mike's next theft. Then Barry agreed. 2 days later, Mike met Sam again. Then Sam gave Mike the complete address of a porn site, and then Mike left from there with that address, and he also saw Barry outside. Barry then placed a transmitter inside Mike's car so he could track him. At night, Mike checked the porn site and found Sharon's full schedule, allowing Mark to find out more about her. Mike then followed Sharon to a restaurant where she ate at a rather fancy restaurant. Then Sharon was leaving. Then Mike came out of it and started talking to Sharon about cars, in which both of them had a lot of knowledge about cars, and then they both became friends. Then Mark left. On the other hand, Mark was searching for the black car that Mike had used in the first theft, and that car had disappeared in the city, and then he found a lot of footage. When Maya came to Mike's house at night, she was shocked because Mike had not kept a single family photo of her at home. Mike then revealed that he also has a family, and he doesn't like to talk about it. Then music started playing there, and then both of them started coming closer, in which Mike and Maya started loving each other. And if you are still enjoying this video, then please like, comment, and share this video. And also subscribe to the channel, and you will have to achieve my target of 1,000 likes and hypes on this video somehow. After some time, Maya left from there. Then Mike came out of the house and saw Barry under the house, who was watching him. Then Barry left. Then Mike knew he had messed something up. Then Mike came and found a transmitter under his car, and he understood that Barry was following him. And because of this, within 2 days, Mike bought a new apartment, and he came and started living in that apartment. Sam, on the other hand, was leaving his house. Then Barry attacked him and started beating Sam badly and asked him to tell everything that he had told Mike. By then, Mark was checking all the parking lots in the city. Then he found Mike's car there, and from the broken glass, he understood that the car was used in the theft. Then he called forensics there. On the other hand, Sharon was showing Steve and Danny new paintings in the showroom, in which this work was very boring. That's where Sharon saw Mike there. Then Sharon came and started talking to Mike, and Mike was also very happy to see Sharon, and Mike asked Sharon to go out with him for dinner. By then, Mark had found a hair sample inside the car, using the DNA of which he could find the thief. On the other hand, Mike and Sharon were sitting in a fancy restaurant. Then Sharon told about her work, in which she used to sell insurance to rich people, and because of this, they could understand everything about rich people by looking at them. Then Mike asked me to tell him about it. Then Sharon told me that your hair and clothes are so set, so you are probably very rich. But deep inside, you are scared and pretend to look confident. Also, you were very poor as a child. That's why you became rich." Then Mike was shocked to hear all this about him. And there Mike says that these things seem to be the same for both of us. Then Sharon agreed, and there Mike told her the truth that they did not meet like this again and again. Rather, Mike had followed her, and he knows about her work, in which he wants Sharon to give him information about her rich clients, so that Mike can rob them. And he knows that Sharon has given her entire life to the company, in which, in 11 years, she should have been a partner in the company. But they are not promoting her, even though he can give her a huge cut. Sharon then gets furious and says that I am who I am because of my honesty, and I will never work with a thief like you. Then Sharon was leaving when Mike said that your boss doesn't care about your honesty, and if you want to support me, then post a photo of your feet. Sharon was leaving, and Mike saw Barry following her, with Barry following Sharon. Mike then scared him with his car, and Barry got scared and crashed his car into a spot, and then he entered a ParkX store. Then Mike came and caught Barry and started beating him, and he said that don't follow me after today, otherwise I will kill you. Then he took out the gun. Then Barry agreed, and Mike left from there. When morning came, Mark was in yoga class. Then he saw Sharon there, and after classes, Mark met Sharon. Sharon was then alarmed, as she also suspected Mark of stalking her. Then Mark refused and started telling about his divorce, due to which he used to come to yoga. Then Sharon felt very sad for him, and they both became friends. Then from there, Mark reached a crime scene. Then he saw that his partner there had shot the thief to stop him. Then Mark came and saw that it was a small child, and he did not have any gun. And then he went to call an ambulance, but in the meantime, his friends had placed the gun near the thief. Then Mark saw that he had placed the gun near the thief. Therefore, he could have now closed the case by making it a self-defense case. Then Mark decided to testify against his friends, in which he believed that his friends had placed the gun there. Then his boss explained to him and said that you have to change the statement because we all support each other. Then Mark refused to change his statement, and then his boss suspended Mark along with his colleagues. On the other hand, in the company meeting, Chad started praising Maddie because Maddie had covered Steve's painting as well as his wedding and wedding gifts, and he was going to gift everyone diamonds worth $5.5 million. Then everyone was happy to hear this and left from there. Then Chad told Sharon that his company's business was going through a very slow phase. Therefore, they will not make Sharon their partner this year, but will definitely do so next year. Then Sharon says that the company is making huge profits, and every year you people tell me the same thing, and if you people really will not make me a partner, then tell me that I can take my clients and go to another company, because Chad, you were made a partner in just 5 years. Then Chad says that you are a 53-year-old woman, and at your age, it is very difficult to sell insurance to our clients, so understand that the company will never make you a partner. On the other hand, Mark was leaving the office. Then he received a DNA report from the hair found in the car and found the name of a boy named James Davis, who had grown up in an orphanage. By then, Sharon was very sad after reaching the beach, and she uploaded a photo of her feet on Instagram, which Mike on the other hand saw, and he was very happy. Sharon and Mike met the next day. Sharon then told Mike about Steve's diamonds, which he was going to buy in cash to evade taxes, and that a diamond agent from Enough was going to come and deliver the diamonds to him at the hotel, and in return, he was going to give him $5.5 million in cash, which was $1 million in dollars and the diamond's value combined, to save taxes. And she wanted a share of $3 million in return for the theft. Then Mike agreed and asked Sharon to give him complete information about which agent and guard would be at which place, because he had never committed such a big theft before. And after committing this theft, he could have retired. He just had to stay alive. Mike was working out when night fell. Then he got a call from a woman named Mary, and she told him that, "Son, an officer has come to the orphanage looking for you and wants to save you." Then Mike understood that Mary was very scared. Taking the phone from Mary, Mark talks to James and says, "James, I know everything about you now." Then Mike disconnected the phone right there, and he understood that now the police could catch him anytime. So the next day, Mike decided to steal Steve as soon as possible, and he came to the hotel to steal and was watching everything so that he could do everything easily. Sharon was at her house when night fell. Barry attacks him there and then grabs Sharon and beats her, demanding she tell him everything she's planning with Mike. The next day, Sharon came to see Mark and told him everything about how she wanted to escape from both Mike and the thief. Then Mark says that, "If I do anything officially while being in the police, you can get into trouble because you were in touch with Mike. So we have to handle these things unofficially, and you stay at my house until everything gets sorted out. I will take care of the rest." 2 days later, Mark came to the records room and saw the fake hero he had obtained in the first theft, which he was going to use. By then, Mike and Maya had met on a date, and there, Mike told Maya that he was going out for a few days due to some work. Then Maya understood that Mike was lying. Then Mike refused. Then Maya says that you never tell about your work, nor do you tell about your family, in which I feel like I don't know you, and today you have to tell me the truth. Otherwise, we cannot live together. Mike didn't say anything then. Then Maya broke up with him and left from there, in which the day of theft had now come. Mike then tracked the insurance guard's car as it arrived at the airport. Then Mike came and held him at gunpoint. Then, showing him a photo of his family's house, he threatened to kill him and imprisoned him. But by then, Mark also met the diamond agent in the plane, and he told him that the diamond theft was going to happen today, and then both of them moved ahead. A little while later, Mike arrived at the airport disguised as a guard, and then Mark met him disguised as an agent, and they both left for the hotel. Then Mark liked Mike's car very much, and both of them started talking about cars, in which Mark liked expensive cars, and he always wanted to buy a Mustang car, but he was never able to save so much money. Then Mike was impressed by his knowledge. Then both of them reached the hotel, and from there, Mike started going up in the lift with Mark. By then, Barry had also arrived at the hotel, and Barry called there and found out everything about Steve's room. Then from there, both Mark and Mike came to Steve's room and met Danny and him, in which they had come to give the diamonds to him. That's where Mike held all three of them at gunpoint. Then Mark told that he was a thief. Then Mike came there and took out $5.5 million in cash from the safe and started stuffing it into bags. Mike then asked Mark to give him the diamonds. Then Mark opened the bag and found a gun along with the diamond. Then Mark took out his gun and told Mike that I am an officer and I have come to arrest you. Mike was very scared then, and Mark knew that he never kills anyone during a robbery. Then Barry came from behind and caught Mike, and he had come to steal both the money and the diamonds. Then Mark was not afraid there, and then Barry shot and injured Steve. Then he moved forward to Mark to take the diamonds. Mike then took the gun from him and killed Barry on the spot to save his own life. Then Mark was shocked to see this there. Mike was extremely scared there. Then Mark took the gun from Mike and said that there are diamonds, money, and thieves here, and you should get out of here, in which I have caught the thief from Highway 1001. Then Mike agreed, and he left from there. Steve then threatens to tell the police about Mark, claiming he let the thief escape. Then Mark says that you will not do this, because if you report to the police, then this entire case will be investigated, which will also reveal the theft of your $5.5 million cash. Therefore, you will have to report as I tell you. Then Danny asked Steve to do the same, and Steve agreed. Then Mark called the police there. After some time, Mark was leaving from there, and he had replaced the real hero with a fake hero. Mike, on the other hand, had changed a lot after the theft, leaving his old life behind and deciding to move on. The next day, Mark came to meet Sharon and gave her the diamonds and asked her to start a new life. Sharon then told me Mike left a message for you and showed me a number in a parking lot. Mark was then surprised to see her, and Sharon thanked Mark for his help. Then, Mark was happy to be there. Then from there, Mark reached the parking lot and saw the car given by Mike there, which was a Mustang. And Mark was very happy to see that car. On the other hand, Maya was working in his office. Then she received many parcels, and in one of them, Mike had sent his childhood photo in which they were 3 brothers, and Mike had also told Maya his real name was Jason, and he was asking for a second chance to spend his life with her. Maya was then delighted and left to meet Mike, and by then, Mark was also delighted to be driving around in his new car. And this is where the wonderful movie ended. So do tell me in the comment section how you liked this film, and to keep watching such new and best films, do subscribe to this channel.